now. Give it a second here, just double check, let me know.
Yeah, it seems less blurry, so yeah.
Seems to be... boy, it's dropping frames. But... is it staying steady now? Hold on.
Yeah.
What I will do to probably improve this is go ahead and quit watching it myself. Alright, that might help a little bit. But, alright, so now we are to Raidwald, Red Lionda, and she's just literally butchering your name on purpose, like she has
it's
no care.
Raidwald.
Raidwald, Red Lionda.
Raidwald.
Just follow me. I don't have time
Belonged.
for this. Yeah, whatever. Come on.
I stand up looking quite frustrated. And
as you should.
Move on out.
Alright, and with that, let me adjust your name. So I'll give you a temporary role player so you can enter that room. Should see Dungeons and Dragons at the bottom, so feel free to join that room. So another applicant comes walking in as she announces, Raywald, Red, Lylon, D, and she hands the papers over. And she gives you like a awkward stare and just rolls her eyes at you. She walks out the door and slams it. You're left with this awkward silence as the echo of the door slamming just kind of resonates, and you see two halflings on the other side of the table. On the table you see a cup and a platinum piece in the middle of the table. And you're welcome to take a seat at the chair that's facing them.
Alright, I'm just gonna walk forward and pull the seat back, take a seat and say, I am Raidwald. You can call me Raid. Everybody else does.
It's good to meet you. What talents do you have?
I'm quite skilled with my short swords and my longbow. I've been training for about 9 years now.
They call you Red because your name?
I figured I might as well buy into it since nobody can say my name, and I started fletching my arrows with red feathers.
So what you do for fun?
I hunt orcs. Find them when they're alone. Pick them off.
Anything past combat?
Suppose there's cooking. It's mostly hunting. It's what I enjoy.
Yeah. Do you have any affinity with magic? Or any divinity?
I know a few spells. Simple things. Stuff to cure wounds. Stuff to make them hurt more when you hit them.
Is there anything that you can offer that we haven't discussed?
I've been wandering the wilds all over the place for quite some time. I know the lay of the land fairly well. I'm not what you might call an expert, but then again, who really is?
Get in, do you have anything to add?
Anything, Giddy?
If you could have one wish, what would you wish for? Obviously,
I'd wish
not
for
to
my family
disclose.
back. I'd wish for my family back. The orcs, they killed my dad and stole my mum.
So,
That's why I became a ranger.
Or whereabouts is stolen none then?
What
I
was-
I hold out hope, but Orcus slaves don't last long.
How are you on ownership?
Or ownership?
Yep.
Could you clarify?
How do you feel about, I guess, liberating someone's property?
If it's what I have to do to survive, suppose I might do it.
Okay.
Was there any more questions?
Not that I can think of.
Gideon?
So I'm pretty good right now.
Alright, so I need to go back in there and ask Kieran to do the same. I forgot. Got kind of bum rushed a little bit. But tell us about the class and what you built so that we kind of know what actual character you have. So we go to your core.
Yeah, he's a ranger. Pretty obviously, I think I said that. But
Yeah.
I've chosen orcs and goblinoids as my favorite enemies just because those are pretty stereotypical, and who doesn't like killing orcs? I even tied orcs into the backstory because I figured, why not?
No.
My favorite terrain, I went with grassland, just because I feel like I'm not entirely sure why I went with grassland. I just chose it, I guess.
There is plenty of grass.
For the fighting style, I went with. I'm trying to go for a lot of attacks with 2 weapons.
Alright.
So I've chosen 2-weapon fighting and horde breaker.
And with that, you guys have no more questions for him. We'll go ahead and dismiss him back to the room.
I thank you for your consideration.
Alright, and then Shishay kind of walks out with him. Be back. Okay, let me see who's next here. And before I go further, I think I did a disservice to Ryder. Ryder, could you tell us about the class you built? Because I forgot to ask you. Or did you go mute? You are mute, Ryder. Or did they just disappear?
I think he's just
Oh,
unresponsive right now.
wait. Was it? Well, okay, not that important. Never mind. I will move on to who was next in the turn order. Let's see here. Looks like Virtue? Is that right?
What? Oh,
So,
I'm here.
Aldir, did you, I'm going to ask you, did you put Virtue as your name or did you put your Aldir Ecarus?
I probably put the full thing.
Virtue, okay, she says going to have a little blast with you. So the pink-haired lady kind of rolls her eyes looking at the papers and she goes, Virtue, Aldir Ecarus. Virtue, Aldir.
Yeah, you don't need to say the first part. I'm here.
Yeah, okay, well, follow me. She kind of rolls her eyes, walks away, and I will. Wait, who was that again? Vincent? Or.
Extra.
Lextra, sorry. Yeah. Because I was looking on row 20, I wasn't looking on here, so let me add that, and then you should see a room down below where those two are hanging out. Feel free to join me down there.
Yes.
And Shishay comes walking back in, rolling her eyes, and she's like looking at the paper, and she's like, Virtual Aldir Ecarus, have a seat. Points to a chair. There's 2 halflings on the other side. You see a cup on the table with a platinum piece in the middle. and you're allowed to go take a seat. As you go to sit down, she slams the door shut, and loud echo kind of resonates for a moment, and she just kind of walks back to the reception area, just kind of giving everybody else that, that narrow glare from where she's at. I just can't wait for my lunch break. But now you are welcome to have some conversation, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Your name is?
You can just call me Virtue. It's my stage name.
Okay.
Stage name.
Do
Why,
you,
yes.
play?
Well, before this whole adventuring thing, I used to be an up-and-coming star. Well, I still am, working on my autobiography, not complete yet. I will get to that soon.
What instrument?
Oh, well, I play the pan flute, but I'm also an actor, singer. I do some of the magical arts, literally and figuratively.
So you're the entire stage.
I try to be, yes.
Have you got any combat experience?
Well, yes, sort of. I'm very good at fighting. Well, Well, it's kind of difficult to explain. I think I'm possessed. I think that's the word. I have these magical powers I can't really explain, and they come out when I'm in danger.
Oh, so curse or gift?
Well, that's a funny story. See, when I ran one of my shows, it didn't really go the way. In fact, we didn't sell out at all. Nobody really came. I got really depressed, went out drinking. It's all a bit hazy, but then when I woke up, I had a signed contract. And then magical powers.
At least you got something out of yours.
Yes. They're terrifying, but they're great. I'm going to turn them into a heroic deed. I think it's really going to gain popularity with the younger kids.
Do you have any skills that we haven't discussed? Anything that we should know about?
Well, with my possession, I'm very good at reading multiple languages. In fact, I can pretty much read every language. I don't need to sleep. I don't know why that is. I can... Very odd, but it gives me a lot of time to write, which is what I really need to do. Autobiographies don't write themselves. Other than that, I have a way of influencing people, both with magic and without. And, well, I'm a performer, so I can get people's attention pretty well. I hope.
Yes. Do you have any questions, Gideon?
What you do for fun?
Ooh, fun. Yes, well, my entire life is pretty much fun. I don't like having sad moments within my life. It's just very dull, boring. I really just like to go with the flow, have fun with everything. In fact, I just sort of pretend everything's a stage. It's a lot easier for me. But instead of certain hobbies, I guess you could say I work on my singing a bit. I do like fine cuisine. I don't know how to cook, though. I'm a very bad chef in the kitchen, but with time, I hope to learn.
And how do you feel about ownership?
Well, I'm already owned by something I don't know, so I guess I'm pretty fine with it, as long as I can get my name out there.
That's it. It's a fine assumption.
Is that all the questions you want to ask?
I think so.
Alright, so
No, I'm good.
to finish this out,
Character description.
yeah, tell us about your character, what you built, and what you kind of look like. just kind of give everybody the last ideal of your identity here.
Yeah, all right. So I built a half elf warlock, great old one patron. He is mostly in his quote unquote superhero outfit most of the time. When he's out and about, he wears a sort of like a Harlequin mask and a fancy frilly hat with like his golden hair coming off one of the sides. He obviously has a cape, and whenever it comes combat time, he puts on his he casts mage armor to really enhance his suit.
Alright, and with that, you'll be escorted out. See Shisei there, just kind of looking like, oh, you're finally done? Alright, come rejoin your friends in the reception area. And she kind of escorts you out, and we go find out who's next. Go ahead and rejoin us in the other room, and I'll be back. And Shisei comes waltzing back in with the other applicant leaving as well. And she kind of looks down at her list, and I'm kind of looking at the...
Excuse me? Do you have a bathroom I can use?
There's an odd house in the back. The back! And she points. In the back.
Through this door or out that one?
Not up the stairs.
Excuse me,
go
I spilled
down.
my drink.
Oh my gosh.
Can you
children.
escort me?
Her eyes narrows, and she kind of holds the sheath of one of her katanas that are hidden on her back and kind of reveals it. Are you sure you need that kind of escorting, sir? I could chop it off for you if you want.
I like you.
Very well.
Oh, she's
You seem very tense. Do you need some good berries? I hold out a berry.
Fargrim,
I'm not
Fire
really sure.
Oper, Baldur. Fargrim.
That'd be me, ma'am. And I'm not. That's me, ma'am. I'm right here. I'm not entirely sure why people are antagonizing you as they are.
I
I'll
get it
come
all the
by.
time. People think I have no emotion, so they test me. But come on. She kind of leads you back into the other room, and let me go ahead and adjust.
Do you accept tips, ma'am?
She gives you a narrow eye.
You seem like you've had a rough day. That's all I'm saying.
Just follow me.
It sounds to me like she's trying to hire you as a prostitute.
Narrow eye.
No, she has been dealing with you chuckleheads all day.
Alright, I got a job to do. Please allow me to finish. Will you please follow me, and the rest of you behave? And she'll lead you to the other
Can
room.
do, ma'am.
And you should see the room now, so you should be able to go down there. Join me when you can. So, Shisei, after being hazed a little bit, after giving a stern look towards some of the other characters who were trying to give her a hard time and ask where the restroom is, comes in with another applicant, finally, and says to you, let me pull up your character sheet so everybody who cares to see. Fargrim, Fire Oper, Baldur. And she kind of opens the door, showing you in.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and as you walk in, you can see a table, 2 chairs where 2 halflings are on the other side. There's a cup and a platinum piece in the middle of the table, and then there's a chair for you to sit down. You see Shisei walk out, and she slams the door behind you, and this time it seems a lot louder than normal. Like, you can definitely feel like a couple chords have been struck from the recent exchange as she was trying to retrieve you. But you're left with that awkward silence, and you're now free to go ahead and start asking questions.
Do you want me to describe how he looks now?
Nope, you'll do it at the end.
If you like.
Or, well, yeah, if you like, go for it.
Appearance is the first thing you see.
They ask.
What you do see before... Yeah. What you do see before you is a very widely built dwarf, even for the dwarven... even for a dwarven rate, is very heavily built. With a very large beard, goes down into 2 separate dreadlocks. A bald head, does seem to actually have a pair of glasses up on his forehead. Having just a basic breastplate over his chest that seems to be very as if it was being uncared for a number of months, and then started to be cared for again. You can tell a large amount of decay on the straps and such. With a large battle axe at his side, various amount of materials, and a larger backpack on his back. It's a slight smile through his beard towards you two. Oh, and your receptionist is a very stalwart one. So, may I have a seat?
Yes.
All right, thank you. What's the platinum piece there for?
It's nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I should introduce myself, but allow me to do it myself. My name is Fargrim Fire Opal Balder.
Do you have anything shorter?
You can just call me Fargrim. Fine. The middle thing there is just a old moniker.
Okay.
What's a moniker?
It's a thing people call you instead of your name when you're something mysterious or aloof.
So it's like a nickname.
Kinda, yeah.
It's a title.
Pop the seat down. All right.
So, what abilities do you have? What talents do you have?
Ah, I thought you'd start with this. And he heaves up his battle axe. It's not this. This is but a tool. He reaches out into his backpack and leaves a very large tome and flops on the table. This is my profession. You see, what I have on me is nothing but a simple facade, ruse. What I actually do is I'm quite a able-bodied spellcaster of the more studious variety.
Divination?
Nah. More like making things boom, crack, sizzle, or I don't know. What would you call the onomatopoeia for really stuff that's really cold? I haven't really thought about that yet. Anyway,
Does it crackle? I've heard ice crack.
it does crack when you put ice in water when you kind of let it for a little bit. Yeah, I could see that. Anyway, I do cast spells of a large variety. It's just my dwarven upbringing let me properly heave this crap on me without it being an impediment to what I can do. Oh, and before we go any further, I should inform you something. I am somewhat fresh out of prison.
Okay.
Is that going to be a problem at all?
It shouldn't be, no.
All right, that's really good, because a lot of people can be judging now on these parts with that kind of stuff. And
What
I
were
do
you
need
in
to
for?
extortionism, protection rackets. I'm not really proud of it. It's I used to run with a gang actually, and I was kind of the only person in the group who knew how to read. And we did rob from a lot of magic places. So you know when you have a lot of time to yourself, you kind of get to reading it, and it's actually had some pretty neat stuff in it. One thing went to another. A couple years on, now I'm this stocky dwarven man, built like a brick shit house, and can make explosions with nary a flick of his finger. Kind of makes it pretty good at scaring the piss out of people who are otherwise unaware. But as I said, I don't. I got busted for it. I don't like it anymore.
So you're trying to change your ways?
Yeah, after I was in prison. I was supposed to be in prison for 2 years, but I got out in a year and 2 months for good behavior. As I said, I got a right to my parole officer every so often, which would require one of you guys to at least sign for it. So, you know, I have someone in contact with who is on the up and up. Again, it shouldn't be much of a bother.
Okay.
Where were you in jail?
Pretty far up northwest-ish area.
So, toward the mages?
Yeah, mages need to keep track with the mages, though. I was pretty cooperative with that.
So not Blackmore?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I was in a pretty upper to medium security prison for a while, for the majority of it. You know, shift around a little bit after I was doing gooder.
Doing good. So, any more questions?
So what you do for fun?
There you go.
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. See, so I couldn't study magic when I was in prison, so I had to figure something out. And he cracks open a second tome out of his backpack. He opens up, and you see a very odd paraphernalia of diagrams and like drawings of herbs for everything. Oh, I'm a aspiring microbrewer. I like making alcohol. It's basically just spells, but with stuff, and the only effect you want is to get shit-faced.
Do you have any samples?
GM, do I have samples?
Do you want samples? Do you think
I
this
do
would
want
be-
samples.
Do you think this would be something smart to bring to an interview? Well, then if you think so, then go ahead.
I mean,
I live off my backpack.
There you go. So you probably
If there's like a flask or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I pull out 2 drinks. One seems to be a very like a honey brown kind of concoction. The other is a lot darker, multi brown. Okay. I call this one. He points to the honey one. I call this one Summer Petal. Well, I call this one over here Troll Jam.
how strong are they?
Okay, this one, because of the honey petal. It's pretty tasty. It's not that strong though. This one is strong.
I'll take the first one.
I'll do the troll jam for sure.
Alrighty then. There you go. I pull out 2 drinking the flask, shot glasses, whatever I have. Here you go. Scoop whatever container, 2 of them.
Would you consider these drinks very potent?
The honey petal, it's more for taste. Toe jam, it's meant to fuck you up.
I'll need a
That one, yeah.
constitution check from Gideon, though. Oh,
I'm
yeah,
good.
You're good.
Oh fuck!
You see him down it like a champ, and you're like, this little halfling, unfazed by this drink. Had a rough taste
could we-
going down, but
Would it be too much to ask for a quick, what is it, brewers?
like
Brewer's
him,
check, yeah.
yeah, make him do a brewer's check on it. Go for it.
Yeah, just to see how well it came out, or
Sure.
What
sure.
would be the applicable? What would be the applicable attribute for that?
Don't you have a brewer's tool? I think it would be either intelligence or dexterity. I would think intelligence, since you're trying
I
to.
thought brewers was wisdom.
Is it?
It would kind of fit into wisdom. I
It
think.
would, if you
tools-
drag the tool
tool-
over, it should automatically set it up.
I didn't. Tools wise, they're dependent on what you're trying to use them for. Like if you're trying to express knowledge with the supplies, go like in or whatever. But if you're trying to do something with it, depends. I don't know. I think wisdom makes sense because it's a lot of touch and go of just pinches, dashes, and smidges.
Alright, go ahead.
Intuition. All right, it's probably not gonna be that good. Oh, 14.
14, not bad. It might have had better, but this is better than most.
As I said, it's a hobby, not a profession.
He definitely has a career ahead of him, perhaps. I mean, it's not bad.
It's sad. It's a above board side gig. You know, keep me out of trouble.
Not bad to have a hobby.
Not bad at all. Anywho, back to actual questions. Anything else?
Anything else from you two?
Get in.
I'm actually pretty good with that one.
Yeah,
As it stands.
Can I have my glasses back?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right.
And with that, they let you out. Shishay.
Alright, it's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
So you're finally done? Alright, follow me as we go back to the reception area. And we'll go ahead and...
Wait, Stark, stay a second real quick.
Hmm?
Stark,
Alright,
ask Shishay a question.
Alright. So Shishay gets stopped, but you're free to go back to the reception there.
Alright, you want to give me the brass tacks of what I am?
Oh, yeah, we gotta do that, no one. Yeah, tell everybody what class and race you picked.
Alright, I am a mountain dwarf wizard of evocation. I got a large smattering of spells. As I said, it's a very odd wizard because I don't actually have much in the ways of proficiency in actual mental skill checks. It's more for investigation, intimidation, and stuff like that. I rolled really well, so that's why I have pretty good strength, constitution, intelligence. That's why I deem Fulgrim here the muscle wizard.
And
I intend during combat to flavor my spellcasting as conducting it through weapon or other physical means.
Alright, so with that, we'll have you go ahead and rejoin the others, and Shishay will stand there at the door. What is it?
What's got you so riled up?
The guild sent me over here to do this job for you guys. I'm just trying to get through it as quickly as possible.
You seemed extra mad with this last one, though.
It wasn't
Why?
him in particular, but some of them were trying to haze me, trying to phase me, and they needed directions to the Yard House. I threatened to cut off his wiener since that seemed to be his motive at the moment. But allow me to go get the next applicant.
Which one was it?
I can't be expected to remember their names, but I will let you know after the end of the interviews.
Okay.
Alright, and with that...
They give you too much more trouble, call me in.
They're no trouble at all. And she'll give you kind of a sly grin and almost evil look to her eye, but then she turns and walks back out. And I will go retrieve the next applicant.
They already made their decision.
Shishay comes walking out, and I do believe we have some more people, right?
Yeah.
We do?
Vincent Fanlier Dustfeather. Vincent Fanlier Dustfeather.
That's me. Yeah.
Alright, that's Vincent, right? Alright. She kind of points the finger and says, "Follow me," and you should now be able to see the room down below. Oh, nope, I took it off.
Just
There. Now you should.
right.
Follow
Right,
me.
thank you.
Yep, and she leads him off. And then she kind of turns to you guys, sternly looking, it's like, "No funny business, you hear me?"
Yeah. Hear you.
Alright.
Don't worry, I warmed him up for you.
Oh, thanks.
Alright,
I was
so
pretty nervous about this. I shake your hand. My name is Vincent.
Good for you.
Yeah, I know.
alright, follow me. And she leads him off, and we'll see you guys in a few.
Points at the top.
Alright. And Shishay enters in with a new applicant. Let me pull up your Vincent Fanlier Dustfeather. And she shows you into this room, and there's two halflings on the other side of a table, sitting in chairs waiting for you to have a seat on the other end. You see a cup in front of a bar and a platinum piece in the middle of the table. And she kind of escorts you in and says, "Have a seat. I'll be outside waiting." And then she slams the door. A soft little echo kind of awkwardly making you all feel kind of unnerved, but at the same time, that's Shishay. You're free to go ahead and start your questions, lads.
Hello. What is your name?
Ah, my name is Vincent. Vincent Duskfeather.
So, quick side question: is that your character voice, or do you have a stuffy nose?
Character voice, somewhat.
Okay, I was just making sure you weren't like sick or something.
Well, partially sick, but yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
No. So,
Alrighty.
What talents do you have?
I'm a paladin. I've recently dipped into sorcery a little bit after waking up and certain magical accidents occurring. That's something else to talk about. But yes, first and foremost, I try my best to protect the people around me.
Any side projects that you have?
Other than getting my name out there, I want to become an adventurer. I want to, I guess, see my name in storybooks eventually.
Okay.
What do you do for fun?
Oh, fun. I like to read a lot. I study various religions. I read history. Things like that. I do occasionally like to go to a bar or something, get drinks. But only after I finish a project.
Okay. How do you feel on ownership?
Ownership? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a blank statement, really. You can say that you own something, but there's very rarely any proof that you do.
Okay.
I believe if you have to say that you own something, you're a bit arrogant.
What do you have to offer the guild?
I'm really good at hitting things. I cover both physical and magic. I can heal as well. I've been dipping further and further into healing as time goes on. I can now also cast a spell that makes it a lot harder to hit. So, I do like putting that on friends.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from a small woodland village near the outskirts. I was raised there, and I became a guard there. My family kind of runs the guards around there. My grandpa's a retired adventurer, and he settled down there.
any other questions?
Gideon?
No, I'm good.
I think I'm okay here.
Alright, and to finish that out, tell us about your character build, your race.
I am 3 levels of Paladin going Oath of Devotion, and 2 levels of Sorcerer going the Divine Soul, so that I can get Cleric spells along with Arcane spells. Probably gonna go for more buffing and healing later on.
And give us a brief
I am a
description.
half-elf with black hair and green eyes. I have a small elvish tattoo, a little bit to the side and below my left eye. I do seem to be wearing armor, for the most part. I keep a sword and shield on my back.
Alright, and if that's everything, they'll go ahead and dismiss you. And Shishay will
Alright.
be right there at the door waiting for you. It's like, oh, looks like you're done. Alright, let's head back to the main room. I think we about got everybody. I think there might be one more applicant, but I will double check. Follow me, and the two of you will walk back to the main room. And Shishay comes out with the other applicant, looking over across the small crowd that is still gathered. She looks down at her little clipboard and says, Basilisk Lombard. Basilisk
It's
Lombard.
Basilius.
Yeah, whatever. Basilisk, and that's you. Let me give you a roll. And she's purposely butchering it. It's like you gave her the right pronunciation. She just kind of rolls her eyes. It's like, yeah, whatever. And then she's like, follow me.
And-
Oh, anything?
Yes. No, it's okay. The name is difficult to pronounce.
Is that what you think? Follow me, and she'll lead you to the room. Do you see it down below?
Yes.
Alright, join me down there. And she walks off. She enters the room with another applicant, this time Basilis Lombardio. Basilis Lombard. Basilius Lombard. Whatever. Here, have a seat. And she points to this room where there's two halflings sitting across the table. And there's a chair waiting for you to take a seat. You see a cup in front of bar with a platinum piece in front of it. And Shishay walks out the door, shuts the door. A little bit of a thud this time as she feels like she's almost done, getting closer to clocking out. And you are now in this room with these two halflings.
I give a small bow to both before I take a seat.
Hello.
So, lady was having trouble with your name. How do you say it?
My name is Basilius Lombard.
Okay.
Okay. Well, what do you do, Basilis?
Excuse me, may you repeat that?
I said, what is it that you do?
Well, as of now, I'm simply wandering around, spreading, well, good faith, as I feel the lords of the land are not exactly doing their part. So, I take it upon myself to help the villages in which they would scoff at.
Okay. Do you have any divine powers or any arcane powers that we should know of?
No. My only skills come from my wits and my ability to wield a bow and arrow.
Okay. What do you do for fun?
Well, fun is difficult to come by. If anything, what gives me the most pleasure is seeing a work done properly. When I leave a village and I see the villagers are able to fend for themselves, when any projects they've been making is finally complete, that brings me great happiness. So, in that way, I could say that is a form of fun for me.
Do you have any questions, Gideon?
Yeah. Look, if you could have a wish, what would you wish for?
Well, that's difficult. I understand that, at least from what some of the villagers would say in tall tales, that magic could possibly make whatever you wanted or whatever you wish for come true. But there's no point in wishing for something if you can't have such magic. So you got to make it happen yourself. But if there's a desire I have, is to give back the power to the people, which I think has been robbed of them. To see no more villages go hungry or in danger with the lords simply ignoring it. I guess that would you say would be my one wish.
Are there any talents that you might have that we haven't discussed?
Talents? Well, prior to this life of mine, of wandering, helping what I could, I was a battlefield marshal. I was a aspiring ward for a higher house. Essentially, my father, a lower noble, decided that if we were going to get anywhere, I would have to be essentially taken into by a higher house. And for any son such as me, the best way to do so is through combat, through training. And I made a name for myself being able there in the front lines, guiding the troops and telling them, the best tactics and making sure things ran smoothly. So you can say I'm a bit of a battle tactician.
See, Gideon just run in and hit stuff.
Yes, but even the most simplest fighters can be told who is the best target, where is the best target, and who might be the best opponent for them to deal with. Managing who fights who, essentially, the best use of your manpower, so to speak.
So, do you carry chains?
Chains, as in, is that metaphorical or you mean actual metallic chains?
Actual
Like manacles?
I do, in fact. I carry manacles because during my travels and such, sometimes I have to do with villainous types. But even then, I feel that not all villains should be slain outright, so I bring them back and have them face justice. And if impossible, then of course other means have to be taken. But I believe being fair first and getting their side of the story, or at the very least, having the people try them for their crimes is better than just outright killing them.
I think you might want to expand on that a little bit more. Anything else you
What'd you
guys
say?
want to? I think you need to expand on that more. But however, whatever questions you want to ask, is there anything? Anything else?
Not really here.
I think the character build and description is up next, yeah?
Yeah. So no further questions even after the chains. Alright then, with that, tell us about the character you built. Give us your class and your race and kind of a short description of what you look like.
Well, if you need me to expand more on the whole chain and manacles thing, I could do so.
No, that was for them. If they don't want to ask it, that's their loss.
Okay. Is this in character or out of character, the character explanation?
That'll be out of character. It's easier.
Yeah. Just like to tell the
It's
viewer.
Battle Master Fighter?
Yep.
Yeah, Battle Master Fighter. So far the maneuvers I've taken are commander-like ones. Commander Strike, Maneuvering Strike, and Rallying Cry, such things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably fighting mounted, but it's mostly using ranged attacks, so I'm not actually a tank fighter. As far as appearance goes, it's a tallish man, a little bit thinner, well dressed. So, more so, some of his clothes look like commoner traveler's clothes, but he looks like he actually understands how to put it well together, sort of from his whole noble lineage kind of thing. Long, kind of blondish, grayish hair. It's not because he's old, but it just sort of looks faded, sort of sunburned. And he himself, too, looks like he's aging and more out of stress rather than actual age.
Alright.
So it'd be fair to call him a bit worn. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been out there. He's adventured. He's experienced, and like he's not afraid to sort of be the one at the front, getting things done. Making sure the bridge is built, making sure all the villagers are trained, sort of thing. Actually get in there and be hands on with things.
All right.
Alright, and with that, they'll go ahead and dismiss you, and you'll be welcome to join the other room. And I think that's the end of all the applicants, so I'll let you go up there and we'll have a quick discussion before I come back in as Shishay.
Alright. And in character, I say I bow one last time and leave.
Shishay kind of sees you pop out. It's like, alright, follow me back to the reception area with the rest of them. And there he goes. He's off. Alright, so. Or should I mute us for now and